So, I feel like for so long I've planned what I want to say, or I've had notes, key points, kind of like those PowerPoints you used to make for middle school and high school and even college presentations. But I just kind of want to go unscripted. I'm not trying to be like an awful second to last scene in a movie where a person's making a speech at a wedding and they have a piece of paper and they're about to give a speech and they're like, you know what, screw the script. But truly, I wanted to do something freeing and just kind of talk from the heart. I've been thinking a lot about creation and how badly I want to create. It's honestly, I've wanted to my whole entire life since I was a little girl. Some of my earliest memories truly is writing and reading when I was little. My favorite story my mom and my dad tell me is that at my 3rd birthday party, I got all these presents. I got Barbies and dolls and a dollhouse and whatever else you give a 3-year-old. And then they gave me this book, and I stopped opening my presents. I didn't want to open any more presents. I was as stubborn then as I am now. And I just couldn't stop looking through the book. And my parents were like, open more presents, open more presents. And I just didn't want to. I just wanted to keep reading these words and, see how the story unfolded, whether it was through pictures or words. I love the storytelling. And then, as I got older, I always really, really had a bond and a connection with all of my English teachers. I was talking to my friend about this the other day, about our teachers in our lives and which ones we remembered. And it was so funny. She remembered all of her math teachers, and I always remembered my English teachers, Miss Hale and Miss Carpenter. And I would write them books, and I would literally write a story, whether it was an assignment or not. I would write a story I had in my head down, and I would staple the computer pieces of paper together, and I would give it to them, and I would color, and I would make illustrations for it, and I was just so beaming with happiness, and they would always be like, this is so great. And I'll never forget my 5th grade teacher, Miss Carpenter. She said, don't forget to dedicate your first book to me, and I was just so thrilled by that. And I would come home after school, and I wasn't, I'd play outside and ride my bikes like all the other kids in the neighborhood, but what I really loved sometimes was just to come inside, sit down on my computer. This is the times when you didn't have laptops, you had one family computer, and I would sit down in front of the desktop, and I would type stories and chapters of this book, and I loved mysteries, so I think I was writing a mystery book, and I'd print them out, and my mom would help me put them in a binder, and I'd make it into a book. And then in late middle school, I think it was middle school, it might have been elementary school, I think it was middle school, Hannah Montana was me and my friend's favorite show, and we would reenact the scenes for my parents. We would invite our neighbors over, and we would reenact the scenes with us as the actors. And even when I was younger, when I had my first video camera, we would make up stories, but the brats would be the actors. And then I started doing theater, and I fell in love with acting, with being on the stage. And so then from then on out, when I found YouTube, and you guys know that whole story about how I made my first video was a dance video, and then I found Windows Movie Maker, and I found out that you can actually cut a movie, and you can edit clips, and you can splice them and turn it into a story. And that's when I fell in love with not only the storytelling aspect on the page, and even with my body, the physicality of acting in person, but I fell in love with the creation of it, the vision. And that hasn't gone away. I decided to study it in college, and it's still evident today. But in a world that is so saturated now, it's a little bit frightening, because this has been my future my whole life. This is what I feel like my whole life has been headed towards. And now that I'm in Los Angeles, and I'm in this big, I'm a small fish in a big pond, it's scary to know that all these people, what you feel in your bones, that you feel like your life is about, all these people are doing the same thing, and everyone else is trying to make it a livelihood just like you are. And it's so different for it to be part of your life in a way that it's a hobby and it's a passion, and then to want to turn that into a career is very scary. And it's become really, really real for me in these past few months that I've been in LA. And got me to thinking. I've been seeing more and more content that's about finding your voice and finding, finding your brand, and we're focusing less and less on who we are as people, our purpose, and we're turning it more outward to what do other people want to see rather than what do I feel like I need to create. And I feel like I've been part of that movement to decide that is, what do you guys want to see rather than what I want to make. And just the constant feeling of having to keep up and to measure up and to level up. And more and more people are, I'm seeing more and more videos about how to be confident, how to create content that matters to you, and social media. And it really does take a toll. And I've been thinking a lot about it, and I think accountability is a huge thing. I used to be really, really good at it. I'd say, hey, I'm going to make this, and I'd be able to do it. I would say, hey, I'm making this video, it's coming out next week, and it would happen. Now I feel like I've promised so much, and it's just made me think that, and I'm not delivering, and it just makes me think that the shift is so scary, and it's become so real that this isn't just a hobby, it's what I want to do with my life. And I question, is that right? Should you keep it as a hobby? Should you go after a different career? And the whole thing, I've been talking for a long time, the whole thing that I'm taking you guys on this walk with, for me, to say is, I don't want to be like other people, and I want to make content that stands out for the sake of it being me and it being myself, and being confident in the fact that I have a story to tell, and that I have thoughts that are important. And I've struggled with this, and it's the first time in my life where I genuinely feel like I've struggled with it. I didn't before, but times are changing, and everyone's trying to get into creation. And with that being said, and with the whole accountability thing being said, I'm going to take a bold move. And I did say, hey, YouTube, I'm coming back. I want to make videos every week. And I think that wasn't me talking. I think it was me feeling, again, like I had to measure up and level up and keep up, is the biggest feeling that I'm dealing with right now, is feeling like I'm falling behind and feeling like I need to keep up. And I think that's when we feel stunted. YouTube is a completely different world now. Content creation is a different world now. Facebook, Snapchat, like there's shows and podcasts, and you want to stand out, you want to keep up. And for me, I think that's when I started losing what I'm about. I remember when I used to be contracted with a network. It's called Collective Digital Studio. When the transformation of YouTube first started, and it changed from community and making videos at your own pace once every other week, or bi-weekly or bi-monthly even, whenever you wanted to create content, to it becoming a business where you have to create a certain amount of content in a certain amount of time, which is usually once a week, sometimes for people even twice a week. And I remember them messaging me saying, hey, we're going to need you to start making content more often. Like you're making a video once every month, and it's a great video, but we need you to do it more often. And I think this is dangerous. It's super dangerous. I think that when you feel the pressure to create every week, you start to focus on the quantity over the quality. And I've been pulling my hair out trying to balance my life with making a video every week, and it's just not working for me. And I've decided that I'd rather create until I can maybe hopefully one day be doing YouTube as a full-time job and making content and art and films and TV shows as a full-time job. I only have the time that I have now, and I would much rather be creating something I'm so wholeheartedly excited about and making one video a month, or maybe 2 videos a month, rather than trying my hardest and pulling my hair out to make a video every week just for the sake of there being a video every week. I want to be proud of what I do, and I want you guys to feel proud of what I do, and I think the best way to do this is to just kind of do me, and do me at my own pace. And this doesn't mean being lazy. This doesn't mean I'll edit when I want to. It means editing every day and editing whenever I can. But it means taking the time that the work and that the art and that the video and the content needs, rather than just putting a video out to say I'm relevant. And I want my work in itself to be relevant. And if that means that I can't be a YouTube partner in the future because of it, or if it means that I can't have sponsorship deals or do any of that stuff, then so be it. I'm so done with fitting the standard that is YouTube now. And I still love this platform. I love that it gives people a voice and it gives people a space to share and play and be themselves, but it's just that. It's a space to play and learn and grow and be yourself, and I'm going to use it as just that and as nothing else. And I think what you put out into the universe comes back to you in the way that it's supposed to, and what energy you put out, you attract. And again, if I'm making this into a career, like, hopefully, I'll have to figure out a way to sustain it, but I never want to lose why I started. And I've been doing a lot of thinking about that. I've been off social media for a few weeks now. I just kind of took it off because I feel like it was taking up a lot of my mental space and my time, and I've really been thinking about it, and I've come to the decision that I'm going to make videos whenever I feel like it, because I can, and that's what I'm going to do. And it'll be fun for you guys, it'll be fun for me. I don't know when the videos will be coming out. I know I'm going to just keep working at one video until I feel like it's at its best, and then I'm going to put it on YouTube, and then I'm going to be on to the next one. And that's what I'm going to do, and nothing else. I think that's what sets people apart, when they really put their all into their work. And I'm doing just that.